Welcome into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller.
And my name's Brett Parnell.
And let's dive in. This is
Let's go.
episode 4 of our Vanuatu rewatch.
Episode 4 of the Vanuatu rewatch. We're about a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah, what stuck out to you this episode?
What stuck out to me this episode was how much I miss these local rewards now that we're in one place. That was so much fun. Which we used to get here and there. What also stuck out to me in this episode is just how bad Lopevi is at Survivor. And I mean, Jeff was right at the end in Tribal, but I'll get to it when we get to Tribal Council. But that I think is really the big description of this episode. What about you?
Yeah, for sure. I did love the reward. I'm trying to think of who to name my player of the week, and I just can't think of it.
I know mine.
Go ahead.
Eliza.
Interesting. Why?
She was earlier in the game in damage control mode, not getting along with Lisa, and then was able to get that whole tribe to come together and follow her instructions in the challenge and save them all, whereas Rory could not do that.
Well, that's just how that challenge is supposed to work. I don't know how much of that's like her improving her game or them just wanting to be immune and saying.
But if they wanted to be like the men's tribe and not trust her, they could.
Yeah, but that would be stupid. I don't think that reflects like.
I agree, but that's exactly what we saw. So one of the two tribes is doing just that.
Yes, but I'm gonna say that because a tribe played a challenge correctly doesn't mean they trust her and want to play like strategy-wise with her.
Oh, I'm not necessarily saying they do, but they trusted her enough to let her take on a leadership role in this episode.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass on my player of the week for now, just because I can't think of one. But man, I will say, you mentioned Rory. That guy gives us so much content.
Oh, does he ever?
Like when we started this, I remembered him a little bit, but like he's arguably been the main character of the season so far.
Yeah, he has.
I did not expect him to have this big of a story.
And he's somehow still here, which keeps giving him a bigger and bigger story.
He's their tribe's leading vote getter, and he hasn't come home, which is crazy.
Yep.
I don't know if that's mathematically accurate, but he called himself their leading vote getter. So, we'll see.
No, that is accurate.
Okay. Well, so we dive in, and it's the post-tribal, and Eliza is shocked by the vote from last week and by Lisa voting for Mia.
That she is.
Which is just kind of ironic to me, because the previous episode everyone was upset like this about Eliza not voting how she said she would. And now that she was on the other foot.
I completely agree with you, but I think Eliza also explains this well, in which she says Lisa's being hypocritical, not I'm not 100% just upset that Lisa did what she did. I think Eliza's taking it more personally because Lisa was one of the vocal chorus that was angry at her for voting out Dolly.
Yeah.
Yet then makes the same decision to play the same game the exact same way as Eliza did 3 days earlier.
I think after the Dolly vote, like the Lisa, I can't say anything for Julie, but Lisa never trusted Eliza again after that.
Yeah.
So to play devil's advocate, if you don't trust her, why would you tell her?
Very true.
Change your mind about something.
Absolutely.
I see both sides of this argument.
Yeah.
But it ends with Eliza telling us that if Lisa were gone tomorrow, she'd be happy, and that Lisa repulses her now. Which feels a little strong, but I get it.
It seems to be a tribe that has a lot of strong feelings together, but at least this week they're able to put that aside in 2 separate challenges that require intertribal communication.
Yeah. And so we go over to Lopevi, And you'd think Rory would be upset about votes after getting votes last tribal, right? Because Rory gets upset about everything, kind of. But he tells us he's not really bothered by getting 3 votes last tribal. He's still got numbers in his agreement with Chad and Sarge and Bubba and Chris. And I wrote down, this is such a surprising response from him, of all people, to just be like, hey, I got 3 votes, but I'm chill.
Yeah, exactly.
That surprised me very much. But that's kind of all we get before we get to the reward challenge really early this week.
We do get to the reward challenge really early, which makes sense because the reward itself is going to take up about half the episode.
Yeah.
But we go back to something we used to see a lot in old school Survivor, and we haven't got this in I don't know how many dozens of seasons, but is an old school match game.
Yes, this is so much fun.
We have a game that's so much fun on TV, but that as a little kid I wrecked.
Yeah.
My mom used to play the match game with us as children, to which I figured out that the table is made of glass and I could just hop under it and cheat.
I also have a story of like hacking a game as a kid.
Go ahead.
And as you've noticed, I like noise. I'm a loud person. I like talking. So when I was a kid and like teachers or parents would be like, oh, here's a game. Let's all play the quiet game and see who wins. I would just be like, I lose and go about my business.
That's amazing.
I hated the quiet game. I never played. I just gave up immediately and went about whatever I was doing.
That's funny.
So, but getting under a glass table with the matching cards game is fantastic.
Yep.
I love that. And so, yeah, classic memory game, 15 pairs of uncovered items in a field, and your goal is to pair up, like, get the matching pairs, and bring them back. And the winner gets to bring a local back to camp with them for 24 hours. Not bring them back. He comes to camp on his own, but he's at their camp for 24 hours, and his name is Da.
This was amazing.
Yes, the challenge itself was a blowout.
Yeah. The men were not playing it with proper strategy.
What exactly were they doing?
Somehow trying to randomly guess the matches, whereas instead they just kept showing the women where they were.
Because the way you play that game is, like, say you uncover a coconut in a drum, and then I uncover a banana and then a drum. Neither of us got a match, but then you know where the second drum is, so you get both drums. I don't get how the men had such a hard time. This game is so simple.
Yeah.
But Lopevi's, the new era of Survivor is known for disaster tribes. I'm putting Lopevi in, like, I'm labeling them a disaster tribe at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you on that.
It's so bad.
I think Lopevi, and I said this to my dad when we were watching it, could have been a good tribe if they would have not voted out the same people they did. I almost am getting flashbacks to like Island of the Idols, where I'm thinking the people that went home early in this season, notably from the men, might have been good players if they just lasted a little while, whereas I'm not necessarily liking the people still in the game.
I said that about JP last week, but he showed a ton of potential.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they're voting out the young, strong guys that are good at challenges, too.
That they are.
Meanwhile, like, it's smart. They have their numbers alliance. Like, the people in that alliance are keeping themselves safe. But 2 of those people are Sarge and Rory.
Exactly.
Who should not be playing together in the same alliance.
Who should not be playing Survivor, but...
No, yes. I think if those 2 could go back to day 1, they would not choose to be in the same alliance.
That's right.
So the women win.
Which makes me ask the question, and Brady brings this up this week. They now have the numbers. Why can't they just turn on the alliance to see which one of them can survive?
Yeah, that's true.
They
But
can easily do what Colby did to Jerry 7 seasons before and just get rid of one person and then go back to voting with the Alliance.
that's true. And so the women win like 5 pairs to 2, I think.
Yeah.
So they get to go back to camp, and Daw will join them at some point. And so we show them at camp. They're at camp. They see Daw coming in on his boat. They go down to the beach. They're ready to greet him, ready to introduce themselves. And he arrives, and he just walks right past them and walks straight into the forest. And they're very much thrown off by that right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, I mean, like Jeff said, that Daw does not speak English, so this is understandable. But it certainly was not something you would be expecting of, you have a guest, boom, he's climbing trees to get us coconuts.
Yeah, and he does that. He climbs up a tree and cuts down about 1,000 coconuts.
Yeah.
And he gets sugar cane from a field. And we'll come back to him. But after we start seeing him get food from the trees, we also see the women comment during the sugar cane as he understands us a lot better than we understand him.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to struggle to understand them, but they have no idea what he's saying.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because probably before they put him on the show, they made sure he could understand some cues from Jeff and from cameramen and from other production peoples. Just to make. But then, in terms of actually being able to communicate, that's something that's not easy when you speak to people from foreign countries who speak their own languages. Yeah. Especially in a place like Vanuatu, which is pretty cut off from the outside world.
Yeah, that's true. So we go to Lopevi. We'll come back to Yasur. We'll come back to Daw. Don't worry, guys. But at Yasur, Bubba is really missing his family.
Yeah, he is.
Which is understandable. Like we said, we like seeing the human moments of this show and seeing them as people, not just players.
Yeah.
But then, Rory is Rory about it. And, feels the need to pull Bubba inside and be like, hey, missing your family could be a weakness. That could hurt you.
Yeah.
What are we doing here exactly?
I don't know.
Am I the only one confused by Rory here? He's not the only...
I think Rory is confused a lot of the time, so...
He's such good content, though.
Yeah, he is.
It's never intentional, but he makes me laugh. But, Rory, he might be the obvious one. He's not the only one that misses his family. Everyone does. That's not any sort of... Nobody's gonna vote him out because he misses his family.
Exactly.
But, we also see Bubba tell us in a confessional, and this made me chuckle, that Sarge and Rory are in a constant barrage of bickering, and he's tired of it. And we get a little clip show of just Sarge and Rory bickering over things.
Very true.
And so we go back to Yasur, and Daw fixes the shelter now.
He does.
He cuts this bamboo to the point that it's basically a flat sheet, and he puts it in their shelter to, even out all the bumps.
And now there's no more sleeping with your backbone half into bamboo.
I mean, it's still on bamboo. It's just a flat sheet of bamboo now.
Yeah, but that's going to make it 1,000 times more comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've slept on benches and I've slept on the floor, and the floor is 1,000 times easier because it's flat.
And we also see them asking Daw to show them fishing and say the word fishing multiple times, and him maybe understanding them.
I don't think he did.
I don't think so either, but I'm gonna say maybe. But the next scene we cut to is night vision.
Yeah.
And he I don't remember what it was. And I didn't write it down. He uses this plant to make a bunch of torches, and it's one for each person.
Which was brilliant.
And we're crab hunting. I love just watching Dog go around camp do his thing, and they're all just following him around.
Yeah.
Because, like, they can't really communicate with him. So it's just Da living on an island, basically, and they're following him, hopefully taking notes.
Yeah.
Do we know if crab hunting was successful? Did we get any crabs?
Crab hunting was unsuccessful in the nighttime, but then they went back out in the morning and got some.
Cool. Speaking of fishing, we've talked about him a lot. We have a fishing scene with Rory here at Lopevi. Who's
Fishing or stabbing the dirt?
like practicing how to use the Hawaiian sling in the woods, which I can appreciate wanting to practice so you know what you're doing when you get to the water.
Yeah.
But I'm used to like watching Rupert in season 7 or Ozzy and all the million seasons he's on, like diving under the water with it, right?
Yeah.
And we cut to Rory.
Which is what you're supposed to do.
Just like walking along, holding it vertically, pointing it at the water, just walking along the rocks and along like little coves and peninsulas. Not actually in the water, just like on the banks where you're probably not gonna find a fish. Like what is he doing?
He has no idea. I have no idea.
I love him.
Maybe hoping that he's Sandra, where a shark is just gonna be there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's Tony.
Yeah. Tony found it. I thought Sandra found it and Tony went and picked it up.
Oh, that might be. I just remember Tony running around the beach holding it like a crazy person.
Sandra spotted it, but Tony went to kill it.
But as a TV character, as a fan watching a show and like a podcaster who like appreciates a large amount of content, I love Rory. If I was on the island with him, he'd drive me nuts.
Exactly.
But John does something really smart as Rory is just aimlessly wandering around the rocks, aiming the spear at the water. Is he kind of starts to really create a bigger rift between Rory and Sarge. It's like complaining to Sarge, like, hey, what's Rory doing? What does he think he's doing? Like egging Sarge on and like, hey, nobody's gonna vote him out. Everyone knows they can beat him, so we need to be worried about him. Because John K, he knows he's on the outside here.
Yep.
So, like, this is so smart from John. I love this. And then we go back to Yasur for a little bit. There's nothing really noteworthy here. And then we're at the immunity challenge. Where the way this game works is both tribes are solving this large tile puzzle on the beach. And each puzzle includes 16 tiles that have different colors and different symbols. And you need to make sure none of the same tile, symbol, or color are next to each other or are in the same row or column.
Yes.
Kind of Sudoku-ish, but...
Sudoku before Sudoku was invented.
Oh, Sudoku was probably invented by then.
Really? I never heard about it until about 10 years later, but that's just me.
I'm looking, but that's the concept.
Yes.
Was invented in 1979.
Oh.
That's fantastic job by you there.
Yeah, that is a fantastic.
And so, like you said, the women choose Eliza, like, and the way this game, like the blindfolded challenge, you just need someone loud and, like, commanding to be the caller. And Eliza can be loud, and she has the ability to put herself in charge, as we saw here, and that worked out well.
It does.
Lopevi I need you to explain to me how they chose their caller or what their group logic was there.
I I'm guessing, I don't know, but what the only thing that makes sense to me is Rory volunteered and nobody else wanted to be the fall man if they didn't win.
That makes sense. Rory ends up being the caller, but aside from all the entertaining stuff we've said, Rory's not a super commanding guy.
Yeah.
He can be loud. We saw him be loud in the last challenge with the caller, where he was loudly chanting their tribe name, and the blindfolded people couldn't hear Sarge's commands clearly. But Rory's trying to give them instructions in this challenge, and nobody's listening to him. And he, instead of getting loud and saying, "Hey, shut up and listen," he kind of just tries to keep going meagerly, and they all are doing their own thing, and this is just a mess. Nobody's listening to him.
Yeah, very true.
And he doesn't. He needs to be a bit bolder, be in charge, and say, "Hey, listen to me here too." Does he not?
That he absolutely does.
The fault on this is not just on him, but it is partially on him.
Yeah.
So Yasur wins because Lopevi was total chaos, all doing their own thing. No one's listening to their caller's instructions. Their caller's barely giving instructions. And we go to Lopevi for a little while before Tribal, but I don't have a ton of notes here. We really don't see anything. Do you have anything here?
Not really. We don't. You're right. We don't see a lot. It just tends to be, at least the way that I picked it up, is what's going to happen with the overall alliances. One thing I guess notable here is Brady tries his best to persuade Sarge, using a good argument of if Brady knows that Sarge does not like Rory, you don't want to see Rory at the end of the game, do you? Because nobody's going to vote him out if they think they can beat him. That's smart.
Yeah. And so we get to Tribal, and a lot of the talk at Tribal is there's a group of us here that are playing an individual game, and we're still in the team portion. Basically, and I agree, Lopevi is playing a post-merge game, but they're still in the pre-merge stage. They're focused on each other and not the women.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a group of 5 guys that are voting out these young guys because, it's old versus young. They're not in our alliance. Those are the guys that would be helping you win.
That's right.
But because these 5 have their 5, they think they're out beating and outlasting the people they're voting out. And when merge comes, the women are going to wipe the floor with these 5.
Let me ask you a question, though, Bruce. Has that ship sailed? Now that JP and Brooke already are out of the game? Is there any way you can reverse that now?
I'm not convinced there is, but these 5 of Rory, Sarge, Bubba, Chad, Chris, they're so concerned with outlasting the others on their tribe, playing this like a post-merge game. And by the time the merge comes, it'll be those 5, and the women are going to wipe the floor with them.
Very true.
And they send Brady home here. Lopevi and their majority are not making good decisions.
That's right.
Like Probe said, they're playing an individual game, and it's still the team game stage.
Exactly.
But the women...
I don't mind if it gets a little later in the team game stage to start playing an individual game, but they played an individual game from day 1.
What's crazy is we don't notice it as much because they're not going to Tribal, except for the one double Tribal episode.
Yeah.
The women are just as divided, if not more divided.
Very true.
They're just winning challenges is the only difference.
That's right.
What a weird cast this season is. It's delightful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so not Brooke, Brady goes home. And so we're down to what, 6
We're down to
on Lopevi?
yep,
So it's John
the 5
K
plus John
plus
K.
the group of 5.
That's right.
And Yasur's only lost 1, so they're at 8.
Yep.
Good lord. Yeah, Lopevi's gonna get eaten alive when the merge comes. Whoever's left. So, which one of us wants to go first for a line blindside first boot?
I'm gonna give you, if I can go. It's if you want to go by all means, though.
Go ahead.
But I'm gonna give you 3 players that were involved in memorable local visits.
Nice.
So your options are from Survivor Palau, Kobe. From Survivor Africa, Ethan.
Ooh.
And from Survivor Micronesia, Eric.
I hate first booting Ethan. He's easily my favorite here. I love Ethan. He's the only one I'm not beating. And I'll blindside Kobe and I'll go to the end with Eric because Eric clearly can be influenced pretty easily.
Oh.
Well, not easily. It took 5 really smart women each playing their parts to perfection, but Eric can be influenced.
Fair enough. I am gonna go to the end with Kobe. I'm gonna blindside Ethan here. I think he would be a good juror and respect that move. And I'm gonna first boot Eric. I'm not. If Eric was so easily influenced, I don't think that I want to go all the way to the end with him. He might shoot your own game.
True. But if I can channel him being easily influenced into him being influenced to do what I say.
That's right.
Okay. So I am going to give you 3 people that seem difficult to work with.
Okay.
And 2 of them are humorous about it. The one that's kind of less humorous than the other 2. You're going to get from season 50, everyone had to work around him. You get Joe Hunter. I like Joe, but 50 kind of showed us he can be difficult to work with.
Right.
We have a multi-season player on this that I'm not a huge fan of, but gives me a few laughs. Famous gymnast Debbie Wanner, or Wainer, however her last name is pronounced, Wanner. She tells us on Game Changers she used to be a gymnast, and then gets mad that someone put her on a balance beam. And then you get Rory, who, nowhere near along the lines of the other 2, but he seems difficult to play with so far.
Yeah. I'm going to align with Joe. He showed he's going to go to get you to the end twice and you'll beat him.
Yeah.
That is a pretty good ally. I'm going to blindside Rory. While Debbie did vote for my favorite player of all time, I don't necessarily know if she would hold true with her alliance. I think she was very unhappy with Aubrey.
Yeah.
So therefore I'm gonna first boot her because Debbie seems to be the least predictable of these 3. Rory, at least, he's gonna be difficult, but he's his own person, and if you can learn to live with that, you'll be fine.
Rory's super predictable. He's going to be upset about something.
Right.
It's like on our recap last week, I remember saying at some point, "Hey, shocker, Rory's upset."
Yeah.
That can kind of, other than when he's walking along the rocks, just looking in the water, holding a spear, he's pretty much always just kind of annoyed about something, but
That's
he's
right.
funny about it. No, Debbie gets on my nerves, but I do kind of chuckle at just the stupidity of game changers. When, like, tribe strategy, she pretty much, they want to put Haley on a balance beam, I think. And
Yeah.
Debbie insists on doing the balance beam. She used to be a gymnast. And then stinks at it, right?
That's right.
And then they lose, and we get her at camp saying, "Oh, why did Brad Culpepper force me to do that balance beam? I'm
Well,
pissed."
you volunteered.
Yeah, I'm first. I can't do Debbie. I'm first booting her. But the, like, gymnast balance beam thing was funny. Just because of how stupid she was about it. I'm like you. I'm going to blindside Rory, and I'm gonna align with Joe, because aligning with Joe's a good way to win. Kyle and Aubrey proved that.
Yeah.
This was a fun episode.
It was.
And so, with that being said, check out all the Reality Realm content: Pit Stop Pals, Roundtable Talk, New Generation Challengers at some point.
I hear that there might be a cast release soon through the rumor mill.
Okay. That's exciting.
Yeah. At least officially, I think everyone's figured out who's on this season, but
If you pay attention to spoilers, you have.
even if you don't, if the players that you expect to be on this season just disappeared from social media for 1, 2, 3 months, they're probably on the season.
I don't follow, like, when people were posted on social media for a laugh. Until they post again and I realize, hey, I haven't seen you on my feed for a while. I don't really notice when people disappear.
That's fair.
So, that's exciting. Look forward to that. Hopefully Big Brother coverage coming back.
Yeah, that would be good.
And with that being said, grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, everyone.
Good night.